Hey beauties. Oh, we can kind of see my angel wing. Can you guys see it right here? All right, I got 2 more weeks in this beautiful beach condo, and then Hayden and I are moving a couple blocks down for the summer, and then we'll move back here after the summer. It's a whole dance we do pretty much every year, except last year when he was in Vegas and I was in LA. So, and then Brussels, and then Switzerland. Woo! All right. Hi, hello, welcome. I am Alix. I'm in the south of France right now, and today I am celebrating the worst day of my life 25 years ago, and also, unfortunately, what ended up also being the best day of my life. So I'll explain, and I hope this works. I am going to check if this works before I keep going in case something's wrong with the audio. And I am so excited. So many of you have joined the Root Chakra Angel Meditation. All right. Awesome. It's working. And say hi, leave comments. This is a community effort. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I got so many messages from people who watch the replay, and you guys are feeling really touched by everything. And it makes my heart so happy. So I'm so excited. Like, I love this energy. It's like, as a creative, intuitive, I'm so excited. So I realized that today, May 4th, happens to be the year my mother lost her battle with breast cancer. And it wasn't breast cancer at the end of her life. Obviously, it was stomach cancer, brain cancer. It kind of spread. And little chicken baby me, 17-year-old, I had been watching my mother slowly die of this cancer most of my teenage years. So while everybody else is, partying, having fun, getting to grow, I wasn't sure if when I'd come home, my mother would still be alive. And this was after I had already gone to my father's funeral, and 2 years later, my brother's funeral, for three separate losses at 3 separate different times. And it's something I still carry, and I think I could obviously carry it for the rest of my life. And the reason I wanted to go live today is I was on a call and somebody said, may the 4th be with you. May the force be with you, because it's May 4th. And I thought, it's now that I realize that my mother, decided and chose to release herself from her pain on May 4th, 2001. And I have a special invitation that I almost never do, that I will share with you at the end of this call. Because I think as healers, practitioners, or anybody who's on the path of awakening, there's a way to turn difficult lessons into really beautiful gifts. And I decided that very moment that I was going to know where my mom went. And even though her physical body was being removed from the house where she passed away by the paramedics, and I just saw her leave the house, on a stretcher, I ended up feeling her instantaneously as a soul. And I felt her happier, I felt her lighter, and I loved already doing meditation. I was meditating really early as a teenager. I was actually dating somebody who, Paul, if you see me, Paul, hi. He would get up in the middle of the night and meditate in my room. And he gave me The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. He just was such a gift. I think that was the book he gave me, but he gave me a very spiritual book, and he wanted me to meditate with him. And I was like, what is this? So I was meditating really early, and I realized that I had sensitivity to energy. And so when my mom left her physical body, I immediately felt her, and my clairsentience awakened. And then I started to feel her, see her, and hear her. And it was a mix of emotions between, I'm a medium, and I don't know what that means, and I can talk to my deceased mother, but then, how is she going to become my guide? How is she going to really guide me in this life? So, and I had no mental health issues. I just want to make that clear. I went on to go to UCLA. I went on to, I had an above 4.0 in high school. I had 2 jobs, and then I went on to UCLA. So I had no mental health issues. I clearly could just see, sense, know, the other side. Like I just decided to go there. And it was a really like conscious choice that I wasn't going to let her go. And I think she must have made that choice as well to not let me go. So if you have deceased loved ones, my message to you, hi Jillian, it's not looking good here either. It's pretty like rainy-ish. My message to you from all of the deceased loved ones that I have seen is a lot of times they stay behind and they don't go to the light because they want to stay with you. That is okay to a point. After that, you got to have somebody take them to the light or invite them up to the light, because that's where they can kind of have a life review, go through what happened, decide what they need to release. I'm not sure on everything that happens up there. Obviously, like I don't think anybody could pretend that they do. But that's what I saw. That's what I understood. So she stayed for a few years, and then I was able, once I knew how to do it, send her to the light. And then she was able to come back as a very healed, beautiful soul. And she doesn't visit as much now, which is good. Like we have closure. But I wanted to bring up, because I'm doing a series on awakening freedom, that if you had anything that happened to you that like you questioned it, you were like, why is this happening to me? What's the lesson here? There's a way to stay stuck in the problem by trying to understand it. And then there's a way to just take yourself outside of the problem and become somebody who's already resolved it. Yeah. So you'll hear me, like if any of you guys are from my sisterhood and my mastermind, you always hear me like, let go disapproving of the problem. Let go disapproving of it, let go of holding it in mind, give it love and approval, release your oppositions to the problem, because when you're opposed to a problem, you hold it in mind, and whatever you hold in mind, you manifest, right? And the way, so then the question becomes like, how do I release something that's like really hurtful? How do I become okay with what happened? How do I have peace about something that I cannot accept, that I want to change in my life? So I'm big on systems and steps. So what I would do if I were you, and whenever you have a minute, is I would journal out everything you want to change in your life, whether it's your weight, your wardrobe, your job, your financial situation. I would make a list of everything you want to change. And then I would spend more time getting curious about what it would feel like to live on the opposite end of that. So if you have conflict in your life, I get curious about what it would feel like to have peace, to have not even peace, compassionate conversations with the people you love. How would it feel like to feel it, to see it? What would that be like to finally be on the other side of the problem? Are you guys with me? So make a list of everything you want to change, and then get curious, write a whole page on how the solution has already happened. It's been 3 months. I finally can fit in my favorite jeans. I feel everything slimmed down. I've been, I wouldn't even write how you got there, to be honest. Yes, there will be a replay. Yeah. So much of us, I don't think we were taught, obviously none of us were taught this in school, unless you went to a special magical school, but so much of us have creative power and we use it the wrong way. And then we're our life isn't a match to where we want to be. So awakening freedom is you have so much spaciousness to not live in the problem. And I'll do more in the root chakra angel meditation. If people want to hop on there, I'll do more energy clearing and read you and help you. But I promise you, if you take the problems in your life, the things you want to change, and you put them in the God box, you put them in God's hands, you hand it over. I call it beam it up to God. I take the thing and I beam it up to God, and I just let it go. And I just release it and almost hand it to the angels. And if you didn't watch the replay from last week, in the root chakra angel meditation, I did do a whole angel energy healing dance thing. Because I obviously learned to see my mom, hear her and feel her, but then I also obviously learned to see, hear and sense archangels and all the ascended masters, so whether it's obviously Jesus or Yogananda, it always works for me. Yay, Stephanie! Stephanie has had incredible gains in my Made to Win mastermind. You are made to win. I can go into that in a bit. But yeah, you are all made to win. None of us were made to lose. Like, God did not create us to lose. You know, whether you believe we're in a battle between good and evil, or whether you believe you're in a battle between you and your ego, like, you were not put on this planet to lose. Like, can you all just agree to that? You were not created to lose. Like, I just watched a YouTube yesterday, a TED Talk, and she said, like, the probability, like, scientists calculated that the probability of you being alive with, like, all the different genes and the DNA and the ancestors and the wars and the famine, like, you know, when people who didn't have food, and, you know, the population movement and the wars, like, the probability that you're alive is 1 in 400 trillion. And, like, you're the only one on this planet right now who has the exact knowledge, experience, training, blueprint. Like, no one else has it. Like, there is no other you on this planet. Like, you're the only one like you. And so I was in Vegas. It was 2022. My son was staying with his dad in Vegas, but I was staying at a friend's house. I'm kind of a nomad. You guys will know, like, you'll see videos from me, like, all over the place over the years. And I was sitting in this empty apartment. And you know, when you don't have your kids, you have, like, more time to meditate. So I didn't have my son, and I just felt like this expansion. And I was really able to move through learned helplessness, that I used to be stuck in learned helplessness all the time. So even though you'll see that I've had a lot of, like, ease in certain areas of my life, sometimes I'll still have this, like, it's pretty much gone now, but, like, recurring 3 different phases of learned helplessness. And it, like, would cycle through me. And it was like, it was this recurring belief that, like, no matter what I do, I can't. Like, it just won't work. And it's all for nothing, or, like, I just can't do it. And I think it was, you know, I was watching my mother struggle with cancer at a time when I was just a kid. My dad had already died. So I think I just had learned helplessness from, like, I want to be an adult. I want to be able to drive a car, make money, and I'm still 11, 12, 13, you know? So my body remembered that helplessness. And so I'll always remember, I was sitting in this apartment, moving through learned helplessness, and I got this download of, like, girl, straight from God, you were made to win. Like, I didn't create you to lose. Like, you were made to win in love, in relationships, and not win over somebody, like, not win as in competing, but just win between, I feel like a loser and I'm actually not a loser. Like, win in the positive thoughts, win in your ability to have better feeling thoughts, win in your ability to be on the right train track of your purpose. Yeah? Like, even win in your relationship, that means, like, you're choosing love over conflict. That's winning, right? Like, I'm thinking of my sister who's back being my best friend after, you know, we've had some hard seasons in our friendship as sisters, like biological sisters, where we fought a lot. And my nervous system couldn't handle her emotional roller coaster. But now we hang out all the time. We're going on vacation soon together. She was at my house for a whole week. I was at her place for 6 weeks last summer. Like, it's a gift of doing this work, because I did a lot of forgiveness magic sheets, I call them, to get past the projections on my sister. And it's hard to love people that have hurt you unless you, like, clear all the projections. So, okay, but back to the topic of, like, anything you want to change. I know it's super hard because it's sticky, but you want to make that list and then, like, bullet points, and then spend more time without detailing how you did it. I wouldn't necessarily write how you got there. I would write more that it's already there. Like, you would leap there. You would just be like, it's happened. How do I feel now that it's resolved? And, you know, my son just walked in. So I'll use an example of my child. Like, was diagnosed autistic. We didn't know he was autistic until 2025, which is last year. And he had, you know, some challenges in school, and we didn't know what he had. He had health issues and things. And I leaped into, it's done. We know what's going on. He's going to the best school for him. He's recognized handicapped in France. Like, I literally only lived in the reality that it was resolved. Okay. And everyone told me, and please don't listen to what people tell you, because it's their beliefs, right? I mean, obviously listen to what people tell you to an extent, but, you know, just listen to your internal truth. And I knew that my son we would have ease. I just decided he'd go to the best school, he'd have support, he'd have the best doctors. Like, I just decided that I wasn't going to live in the problem. I was going to leap into the solution. And he got recognized. He got the handicapped recognition in France within, I think it was 3 months, which is unheard of. It usually takes a year. He got diagnosed really quickly within 2 to 3 months, which again, there's usually a year-long wait list. And I'm really sorry for anyone out there who like struggles with that and your kids don't get diagnosed and your kids don't get the help they want. But I just threw everything, like every metaphysical tool I knew, I just used them to manifest the best for him. Randomly, a spot opened up in his school for kids that have autism. So he has a special class he goes to, and then he still goes to his classes with all his friends, and then he goes to the other one half the day. Like, everything worked out and everything fell into place. And I'll just finish on this. I think it's really about having the flexibility of like changing your mind and having this energetic flexibility of like, right now I'm hitting a wall. Right now my life is so painful, or right now I can't reach my goal, but what if I could, what would it be? And this is where you can journal. This is where you can get curious. This is where you can join other groups where women are with you and they believe in it like you. They're uplifting you and they all have gains and wins and like, you know, flexible mindset, right? So that's one thing I would really do is bullet point the problem, live in the solution without necessarily knowing how you got there. Avoid the how. Because if you say, I'm fitter, I'm slimmer because I've been going to the gym, I wouldn't do that, because you may not always want to go to the gym, but hey girl, you could still lose weight even if you don't go to the gym. Trust me, you can manifest your perfect body, but just because you're going to decide it in your thoughts. I wouldn't fall into the doer. So I love talking a lot about like, am I still on? I see 2 people are on, but I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, we're on. Okay. Yeah, losing weight. Thank you. Somebody beamed it back in my head. Losing weight or getting more clients. Like, the thing you do not want to get caught in is looking for clients. Do not be a looker. Be a finder. So if this is where people trip themselves up, and I totally will do that too. Like, my boyfriend is so funny because I lost my sunglasses last month. And then I was like, we talked about be a finder, not a looker. And he looked at me, he goes, remember how you looked for your glasses and you got so upset? I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have looked for them because I got so upset. And then my sister found them in one of the purses she gave me. And she's like, oh, look, they're right here. Okay, manifesting the perfect body at the gym was the last thing I heard. Okay, I'll go more into that. Thank you, Stephanie. So what I'm trying to say is, when you make your list of the things you want to change, and then the things, and you live in the reality of I'm already 3-6 months out, it's already happened. Do not put that it's because you went to the freaking gym or that because you changed your diet. Like, do not do that. And I'll tell you why. You can get to your ideal body in so many ways that are faster, easier, without resistance if you do not put the how. So I have plenty of income. I'm able to pay off the debt with ease. It could be that you have an exceptional 0% interest offer on a loan, or a very low percentage offer on a loan, and that just alleviates your burden, right? You don't know. You know, like, let the universe help you out without telling the universe how you got there. And this is where I wanted to talk about is like it doesn't have to be feminine, but we're just going to call it feminine. Not that it means anything, because feminine women are very active. We're not passive at all. Like, we need to change that, but I don't have a different word for it yet. But what I mean is the beer, like either you're a doer or you're a beer, like your beingness. And in your beingness, you have non-duality. So in your beingness, you do not care. You're not trying to defend yourself. You're not trying to protect yourself. You're not worried about whether you hit your goal or not. You're in this total acceptance of the current life you have. In your non-duality, in your highest frequency, in this state of peace, in this state of like consciousness, if you look at the scale of consciousness at 800 and above, at even 500 is love, you have no worry about anything. You almost are at peace with what is. So in that state, it doesn't have to be feminine, but in that state, You just relish and are grateful for the vision of the end result, and you don't care about how you got there. You just know you got there. So what I would love for you to practice is, instead of being a doer, be somebody who just knows that she 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 knows that it's already happened. She just knows. It's like, I am slimming down. I am slimming down, and it's just a fact. And so you don't spend time disapproving of yourself in front of the mirror. You don't spend time disapproving of your finances. You're like, I let go of disapproving of myself. I let go of disapproving of myself for 10 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever you can do. And then I give myself love and approval. Because the version of me who already has experienced that reality, she's definitely loving herself and accepting herself. Cool? So stop holding the problem in mind. Can we all do that? Live in the solution without knowing how you got there, but just live in the solution. And I think that's like a really fun creative project where you then will challenge your identity, and what will come up is like a lot of resistance around, who am I to have that? And at that point, you move to below love. Like when you start asking, who am I to have that? When you start worrying about, am I going to get to keep it? What if I lose it? You're no longer in the realm of peace and higher consciousness and the beer and the receiver. You're now in like trying to figure it out, which is the mind, which is like the noise, which is fine. You just got to love it. You got to nurture it. Little baby goddess got triggered in there, you know? Yeah. Love it, Stephanie. Learn to hold the capacity. Tell me more about what's so beautiful about it now. Love it. So Stephanie is in my more like sell in your power for therapist practitioners who learn to sell packages, bigger packages and transformation with me through consciousness and magnetism and this cell process that I've been teaching for several years. And she had a very happy, successful 6-figure year last year. And now she wants to double that. And so we're working through all the metaphysical tools to kind of like open your heart to that. And I think it's so beautiful. So it works across the board, all that we teach. Yeah. Let me see if anything else wants to come through. Oof. Okay. I do see Archangel Michael cutting cords. Yeah, cutting the cords to the old. So I'm just hearing that what Michael is reminding me to tell you is, and you might want to download some of my meditation CDs to like get a little bit closer to the energetic frequency of the archangels. One of the gifts that I'm so grateful I did, like I really listened to this, is I recorded 2 meditation albums when I was deep in the Daniel Dove era of my life, when I was deep in archangel work. Like it's all I did. It's all I did. Like 24/7, I was doing archangel work and angel work. And you'll hear it when you listen to the audios, my voice is different. I'm channeling these archangels, and it's really like a DNA activation. Like you will be a different person as you listen to the meditation albums. And I'll link them below. They're on Spotify, Amazon, iTunes. They're everywhere at this point. You can also just purchase the MP3, but you can also just stream it on your stream things. And Daniel Dove, Meditating with Angels, there's 2 of them. One is for the root chakra and one is for all of your chakras. And what Michael was saying is, when you make your list of the bullet points of things you want to change, and then how you've, not how, leaping into that it's already done, cut your cords to the bullet points. Like cut your cords. Oof. Cut your cords. Like I have a cord cutting video on YouTube. You just want to let the thing go. Put it in God's hands. Put it in the God box. Imagine it's like been released. It's been, like it's no longer for you to fix unless you do get intuitive downloads that you need to handle some things, right? So none of this is financial advice. Obviously, you're responsible for your own transformation and all of the things. And yeah, I do like cutting my cords with scissors, like a pair of scissors. Like I will do that, especially after like a disagreement with somebody. I'll be like, cut my cords. Anyway, but you can also cut them on pieces of paper, and I'll link up the video below. All right. When is my next call? I have a call. Okay, in an hour. We're good. What else could we do? Yeah, I guess share the video if you know anybody who's like trying to fix something in their life and you're hoping they would use a little bit more they would zoom out a little bit and like look at the problem zoomed out, and you would hope that they stop being in it and spinning inside it, and you would hope that they would call in some divine energy to help them. Send them this video. See above comment the piece of it. I am loving learning to stay in the beingness, so peaceful. I had to learn holding the capacity, but it's so beautiful now because of you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and the reason, like, you guys, like, some of us want to control that we manifest our goals. Like, hello, I'll raise my hand. We all want to control it because we want the goal to help us get something, right? And when we do not put how we got there, we let go of wanting control. You know, because if you're like, okay, I need to go to the gym because if I go to the gym, then I'll lose the weight. But the thing is, sometimes when you work out too much, you actually gain weight and then you eat more. I mean, it's like this whole thing, right? So you could actually, in a different way, like I've seen people release weight by like forgiving things, letting things go, decluttering, just like releasing anything that's kind of heavy. And even in the world, like if you see news in the world that are really shocking, which is pretty much every day right now in the last few years, months, forgiving, releasing, that will help. Feeling safer in your body will help release weight. Yeah. I know if I've ever put on weight, it's when I don't feel safe where I live or who I'm dating, or, you know, there's like some stuff that doesn't make me feel safe. So when I pivot back to safety, my body can usually like get back to being a little bit fitter. So, but everybody's different. So, yeah, I think I'll hop in the root chakra angel group now to do more energy healing there. And I think that's all we wanted to say today. Thank you for hanging out, Stephanie. And there was one thing I wanted to say and then it just slipped my mind. Oh yeah, the 222. Okay, my mom. I forgot. Sorry, Mom. So my mom died today, 25 years ago. And that's when I opened up my channels of communication with the divine. They were already there because I was already going into the Akashic records when I was 5 years old. That's a whole other story for another time. But when my mom died, I really opened up my channels and decided to stay connected to her. And I think the gift of the way she died is, you know, she had cancer over several years of my childhood. And then the moment of like when you can tell she's going to go was over a couple months. You know, they don't go quickly. She stayed pretty much for 2 months towards the end at home. And so it prepared me to like open up to the other side. And I was barely 18 years old. And recently a beautiful soul reached out to me on Instagram, and she's from Vegas and her husband is in Vegas. And Vegas is where like a lot of my gifts got to be shared with more people in my community there. And it was there's a lot of spirituality in Vegas. A lot of people don't realize that Vegas is very, very spiritual. The desert is a very spiritual energy. If you want to like awaken your spirituality, if you want to clear your chakras, have massive spiritual experiences, like go to the desert in Vegas, go to the yoga community there. They're incredible. And pretty much they recently reached out and asked if I could give him a reading or give a reading to her husband, who is a speaker for like corporate speaker. And I thought, well, I don't do anymore one-off readings, but I got this download that he needed all these different things, and it was going to be 222 for like about an hour to 90 minutes. So I loved connecting with his energy so much that I thought I would open it up for other people who might need that like calibration. So what it is the way that it's done, and it's how I used to do readings back in the day, is we start with chakra by chakra. I read all of your chakras. Obviously, I could do it on Zoom. I've been doing it forever on Zoom. And then we read your chakras. I tell you what I see. I tell you if anybody's in your chakra. We pick up what's still stuck there, why the energy is not flowing. So the crown, the third eye, the ears, the throat, the heart, solar, the sacral, and the root. And then sometimes the knees and the hips if we need to. Like, I'll just check your whole energy field. That can take 30 minutes. Then we go into like messages from the angels for you. We can look at your departed loved ones. That's what I did for him. I looked at his deceased brother who had passed the week before, and I was able to feel and see how he died and what happened and all of that, and speak to him, put him in the light, give him messages for his wife, It was really beautiful. And then we pulled cards for him for his future business. And then I also went into a reading for his wife. So he's like a live wife, like not to get confused. So his wife was having issues with her mother, and I channeled messages for her. And so again, it's a lot of like channeling and reading. It's something I do not offer individually, right? I usually sell packages that are minimum 3,000 because that's just how I work. That's just what I do now. It's just how I've been working for several years. But I'm opening 22 spots at $222 to celebrate my mom's passing 25 years ago. So if you guys want to save your spot, just send me a DM and say, I want to do this reading with you. Again, 90 minutes, $222. I'll send you the link. I'll send you the link to book and the link to pay. And we go, like I said, chakra reading, card reading, departed loved one reading if you want. And then on top of it, if you want me to read other people in your life, I will read for them and give you messages for them. So that's the deal. It takes about 75 minutes, 90 minutes. We may do other things, like if there's a past life that I need to look at, if there are obviously we do energy clearing. If you have a sticky recurring belief you can't clear, we do that. And if I see that you need more, hi Christy, big hug honey. If I feel like you need like more than that, then I will be honest with you and say, okay, we'll do as much as we can today. But then here's the trick, you guys, is the 22 spots for those 22 readings, you cannot buy more than one unless you want to offer them to somebody. So that means that you can't buy another $222 reading. What I recommend after that is that you hop into one of my containers and we do deeper work together, like emotional work, spiritual work, mindset work to get to the results you want. But I feel like those readings, channelings, I almost so rarely offer them. And because this couple reached out to me from Vegas and she left me the sweetest email, I'll ask her permission and I'll share it with you guys, that I was like, ooh, I want to do them again. Because it was like pure channeling for 90 minutes. It was so cool. And I missed it. I missed doing it because it's all I used to do. And I loved it. It was cool to also like do business reading for him and to give, like, I gave him so much advice. Like, it was really cool. So we can do a reading for the rest of the year. Like because I read energy really fast, you guys. So we could do all kinds of fun readings. That is it. That is all, my loves. So come to the Root Chakra Angel Meditation Group if you want a reading now. I have a call with my sisters in 45 minutes. So I got some time to hop over there. Cool. Yay. You want a reading, Stephanie? All right. I'll send me a DM. I'll send the link and I'll send the booking schedule thingy. And if you just joined us, watch the replay because I shared a whole lot of ways to move out of anything that you feel stuck. And I get it, you guys, like some of us can feel so hopeless and helpless with the world and like, or health. And it's like, oh my God, how could this ever get better? Like I have been there. Like like I said, I transmuted pain into a gift, and it's not an easy path, but if you write letters to God, if you talk to your higher guides, if you connect to your higher self, if you get out of your own mind, like you will have solutions that will blow your mind. Like you will have miracles happen that make no sense. And it will be better than staying in the same frequency that you're in now. So, I'll see you guys soon.